What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, there's a significant chance that everything around you, our phone, the room you're in, even your own thoughts are nothing more than lines of code running on some vast cosmic computer. This isn't science fiction anymore. Leading physicists, philosophers, and tech visionaries like Elon Musk are dead serious about this possibility. The evidence they're presenting might just shatter everything you think you know about reality. Today, we're diving deep into the simulation hypothesis, the mind-bending theory that our entire universe might be an artificial construct. Now, hold on, this isn't some late-night conspiracy theory. Most of us assume reality is solid, physical, and fundamentally real. We can touch things, we see them, so they must exist, right? But cutting-edge science is revealing something truly shocking. The deeper we look into the strange world of quantum mechanics and the exponential growth of computer science, the more our universe looks exactly like a sophisticated simulation. And the probability, some experts put it as high as 50 to 50. I've spent weeks analyzing the arguments from Oxford philosophers, MIT physicists, and Silicon Valley's brightest minds. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you 3 powerful pieces of evidence that even the biggest skeptics have trouble ignoring. By the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought was real. Let's start with our first piece of evidence. The pixelated universe. Here's something that should completely blow your mind. At the most fundamental level, quantum mechanics shows that reality only seems to render when we're observing it. Subatomic particles, the building blocks of everything, exist in a blurry cloud of multiple states all at once. They're everywhere and nowhere simultaneously until the moment we measure them. It is exactly like a video game that only loads the detailed graphics in the area you're currently looking at to save processing power. The most famous proof of this is the double-slit experiment. If you fire a stream of electrons through 2 tiny slits, they act like waves, creating an interference pattern on the other side. It's like ripples in a pond. But here is the crazy part. The moment you place a detector to see which slit each electron goes through, they snap out of it. They suddenly behave like tiny, solid particles, going through one slit or the other, and the wave pattern vanishes. It's as if reality itself is optimizing its resources, only calculating the definite details when it absolutely has to. But it gets even weirder. There seems to be a fundamental limit to how small things can get. This limit is called the Planck Length, which is about 10 to the power of negative 35 meters. It's unimaginably small. Below this scale, our concepts of space and distance completely break down. Think about that for a second. Sound familiar? That's exactly like the pixels on a digital display. You can zoom in on a photo, but eventually you hit the individual pixels and you can't go any smaller. Our universe appears to have a resolution limit, just like a computer screen. It's as if reality itself is made of fundamental, indivisible units, cosmic pixels. Now, for our second piece of evidence, which is less about physics and more about cold, hard logic. The mathematical inevitability. Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom published a groundbreaking paper that essentially proves that at least one of 3 statements must be true. First, all intelligent civilizations go extinct before they can develop the technology to create realistic simulations. Second, all advanced civilizations that reach this technological stage simply choose not to run simulations for whatever reason. Or third, we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Here's the logic behind it, and it's shockingly simple. If even one civilization anywhere in the history of the universe reaches the point where they can simulate conscious beings. By the way, we are getting closer to every day with AI. Wouldn't just run one simulation, they could run millions or even billions of them. Think about it. For every one base reality, there could be countless simulated ones. So, let's do the math. If there are 1,000,000 simulated realities for every one real universe, what are the chances you're in the single, original one? It's a 1 in a million shot. The odds are overwhelmingly stacked against us being in base reality. Elon Musk put it very simply. The odds we're in base reality are 1 in billions. What makes this argument even more compelling is that we are already creating our own primitive simulations. Look at video games like The Sims, or the increasingly realistic virtual reality worlds we're building, or the complex AI models that are learning and evolving. Our technology is growing exponentially. If we assume we don't destroy ourselves first, it seems almost inevitable that our descendants will one day create simulations that are completely indistinguishable from our own reality. And if we can do it, it's highly probable that someone or something has already done it before us. This brings us to our third piece of evidence: the unexplainable anomalies. Every computer program has bugs, glitches, or strange quirks in its code. If our reality is a simulation, we might expect to see some of these glitches ourselves. And when you start looking, you find things that are just weird. Consider the Mandela effect. This is a phenomenon where millions of people share the exact same false memory. The most famous example is the Berenstain Bears. A huge number of people vividly remember the name being spelled with an E, as in Barnes, but it's always been Beer. Could this be a sign of a past version of the simulation being patched or updated, leaving residual data in our memories? Then there's quantum entanglement, which Einstein called spooky action at a distance. Two particles can be linked in such a way that if you measure one, you instantly know the state of the other, no matter how far apart they are, even across the entire universe. It's as if they aren't two separate things, but are instead accessing the same line of code in the simulation's rulebook, updated in real time. And what about the fine-tuning problem? Physicists have discovered that the fundamental constants of our universe, things like the strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, are so incredibly precisely calibrated for life to exist that it's statistically absurd. If you change the force of gravity by just 1 part in 10 to the power of 120, stars couldn't form and we wouldn't be here. It's like someone was carefully adjusting the settings on a control panel to make sure the game was playable. Even something as common as déjà vu, that eerie, fleeting feeling that you've experienced this exact moment before, could be interpreted as a loading error in the matrix, a brief hiccup as the simulation renders your reality, and perhaps the most unsettling anomaly of all. Our universe appears to have a hard speed limit for information transfer, the speed of light. Why would a physical universe have a processing speed limit, a maximum bandwidth, unless it was a system processing a finite amount of data? So, are we living in a simulation? The evidence is compelling enough that even hardcore skeptics are starting to reconsider. It combines strange observations from quantum physics with a powerful logical argument and a collection of unexplained anomalies that seem to hint at a deeper computational layer to our existence. But here's the real question. If we are in a simulation, does it even matter? Maybe this reality, simulated or not, is the only one we'll ever know. Maybe the quest to answer this very question is the whole point of the simulation consciousness, exploring its own nature from within. Or, in a final, recursive twist, Maybe we are on the verge of creating simulations so real that we will prove the hypothesis by becoming the simulators ourselves, continuing the cycle. If this video made you question reality, then you absolutely need to watch my next one, where I break down whether free will can even exist in a simulated universe. The answer will completely change how you think about every choice you make. The link is right here in the corner, and I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Do you think we're living in a simulation? Let's debate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.